Good morning, ma'am.
Hello, Akshay, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not able to hear you. Just hold on, okay? My microphone something is wrong.
Ma'am, what?
Hi, Akshay.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Same to you, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. I don't know what is wrong. ஏதாவது ஒரு ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லாம இருக்காது.
What happened, ma'am?
My speaker is muted and I'm not able to unmute it and I don't know who muted it.
So, wait, I can hear you.
You can hear me. I can't hear you.
You can hear me now, no?
This is my phone.
Oh, ma'am, you can just unmute it in Zoom, no?
Yes, I unmuted you and I spoke, right?
Yeah.
But I couldn't hear you.
No, that is, I think, because you didn't connect to audio.
No, I did.
Oh,
Just speak something.
hello? Hello?
Okay. I'll leave from here and try joining once again. Yeah, hello.
Hello, ma'am, can you hear me?
See, I can't hear you.
Now you can hear me.
Yeah, I told you, no, I can't hear you.
Oh,
There's something wrong. There's no point in staying there. Okay. Anyway, I can't use the audio here and the screen sharing here. Can I do that? I can do that.
you can keep it.
Yeah, I can do that. Yeah, cool. Then I'll do that. Okay. So today, like last class, I hope you remember we learnt about the all
Tidal
the
volume, respiratory reserve.
yes, correct. So today, before going into the PPT, I told you to ping me about the PPT. Did you?
Oh, no. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah.
You itself forgot. I also forgot. When your class timing came, I was like, I had to do something and I forgot. And anyway, are you ready for the test?
Yes, ma'am. I just need to revise. Evening only I should write. No.
Evening only, no? Yeah, because anyway, I have to give them the question paper, so that's okay.
Ma'am, Google form or I have to write it?
That I don't know how they will. I'll give them the question paper. They will tell you what to do.
Like last time you gave question paper only. No, they made Google form.
They made it Google form.
Hmm. So it was just like all I need to do was just enter my name and
Yeah.
then choose like click whichever is the correct. It's like online JEE types.
Okay. Anyway, that is it was timed or what?
Yeah, in like 20 minutes time I had, I think.
That's why she asked me the time. Okay, cool then. We'll
I sent it
start
in
it.
like 18, 19 minutes.
Okay. But you also made some silly mistakes. Don't do that this time. The
Yeah,
paper is
ma'am,
too
last
small.
time I was just answering it from my phone. So question paper was too small. This time I'll answer from my laptop.
Okay.
So question
Then
paper is big, I can finish it fast. Like last time I was scrolling between each question to each question. Like options were all like small. This time, full preparation.
now like we will since we know what are the different structures involved in the breathing and exchange of gases, now what we will do is we will learn about what happens exactly, how does this exchange of gas happen. I
Yeah.
gave you a rough I gave you the mechanism of breathing, that is how inhalation exhalation happens, right? But there is something more to it, in detail that we need to learn. So basically, if you see, there are two types of respiration. Okay, one is called as internal respiration, another is called as external respiration. What are the two types?
Internal and external.
Internal and external. Yeah. Right? What is happening?
Ma'am, are you writing anything? Nothing is there.
Yes. My entire thing suddenly stopped. Anyway, so when I say internal respiration and external respiration, please do not confuse this with the cellular respiration. You remember we learned cellular respiration?
Hmm.
What was it?
Like within the cell.
Within the cell. But that was what? What was happening within the cell?
Oxygen was used for making energy and all that, like that one, or
Correct. That was the respiration that we spoke about. Correct. But now, when I'm telling internal respiration or external respiration, what I am talking about is just the exchange of gases,
Hmm.
not the breaking down of substances.
Hmm.
So that is what you need to keep in mind, first of all. Okay,
Hmm. Yes,
Akshay?
ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah,
can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you. I can hear you. Oh, what happened to my whiteboard? Not able to. The whiteboard is on, no? But the whiteboard suddenly went missing here.
The whiteboard is on, but it's white.
Okay. Cool. Fine. So, when I say internal and external, please remember it is just exchange of gases and not the literal respiration. Okay. Is
Yes,
that clear?
yes, ma'am.
Okay. So first we will see what is this external respiration. Remember, exchange of gases between the alveoli and the bloodstream is called as external respiration.
Ma'am, respiration between alveoli and bloodstream.
Exchange of gases.
Exchange between, that's what external means, between alveoli and bloodstream.
Hmm. And internal means what
Between,
would it
no,
between
bloodstream and cells. Bloodstream and,
cells or organs? Okay,
mm,
that's the difference, basic difference between internal respiration and external respiration. And here we are only talking about exchange of
gases.
gases. Majorly, we are talking about two gases, oxygen and
Oxygen and
carbon.
carbon dioxide.
Okay. Now, uh, this like when I told you about how breathing happens, no, I told you that the pressure inside is different from the pressure outside. Remember?
Mm.
Yes. So we are talking in terms of pressure here. Okay. But I can't say pressure of oxygen or pressure of carbon dioxide. The
Mm.
reason being that these all gases are mixed together in one single system.
Mm.
Okay. And each of them individually contribute for one a particular amount of pressure. So therefore, you can't say it as pressure of oxygen or pressure of carbon dioxide. You will use a term called as partial pressure, which is denoted by small p.
Yeah, it is there in chemistry.
Correct. Yes. So partial pressure is nothing but when many gases together are in one system, the
Mm.
amount of pressure they contribute, okay, at the same temperature is called as partial pressure.
So the amount of pressure they contribute at same temperature is partial pressure. Each gas contributes.
Each gas contributes is partial pressure. Okay. So from now on, we will be talking in terms of partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide.
Mm.
Okay, we won't talk just pressure of gases. We'll be telling partial pressure. So
Mm.
these values that we will be discussing is very important. It is given in your textbook also as a diagram.
Mm.
Okay, so it's very important for you to remember it.
Mm.
And the unit for this is mmHg.
Mm. M-
Normally in chemistry, you would have seen pascals or kilopascals.
mm.
Okay,
For
but comes to a
pressure.
living system, we always measure pressure in this unit.
Hg is mercury.
Mercury, millimeters of mercury.
Mercury. Okay.
That's what it means. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you know what a basement membrane is?
Basement membrane. No?
Yeah. Have you
Mm.
heard of the basement membrane?
Basement.
Hmm.
Nope.
Okay. So basically, you would have studied about epithelial tissues, epithelial cells.
Yes, ma'am. Skin and all that.
Ah, correct. Yes. So always remember, an
Columnar,
epithelial
cuboid.
cell is going to be on a foundation, Madri, a platform.
Ma'am, what?
The epithelial cells,
Will be on
okay,
a.
will be on a platform kind of a place, okay, and that platform is what you call it as basement membrane.
Okay.
Okay, so this is at the base of the tissue. So from here on, you will have the
The platform
remaining
on which epithelial cells start is known as basement membrane.
basement membrane. Okay. So wherever there is an epithelial tissue, at the base of it, you will always find something called as a basement membrane.
Hmm.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, why I am talking about basement membrane here is when we are learning about external respiration, you need to understand this term. That's why.
Hmm.
Okay. Before getting into how this exchange of gases happen externally, okay,
Hmm.
that is alveoli and the between the blood capillaries, we need to study the structure called as a respiratory surface. What is it called?
Respiratory surface.
Or respiratory membrane.
Hmm.
Okay. So what is going to happen is if this is the alveoli, I'm just expanding one single alveoli here. Okay.
Hmm.
The alveoli is lined by squamous epithelial cells. What cells?
Squamous epithelium.
Remember this, it's important.
Okay.
What cells again?
Squamous.
Yes, squamous epithelial cells. Okay. So all over this, they are a single layer of flattened cells like this.
Hmm.
Okay, those kind of epithelial cells are called as squamous epithelial.
Hmm.
Fine. At the base of this squamous epithelial here, you will have the basement membrane.
Hmm.
Okay. Then you will have the capillaries. So the capillary vessels will be like this. These capillary vessels are also lined by epithelial cells.
Okay, ma'am. So behind the alveoli, capillaries will be present. They are also lined by epithelial cell. Alveoli is lined by squamous epithelium.
Correct. So if I draw these alone as a separate layer, this particular part as a separate layer, it will look like this. Okay. So on the top, you have the epithelial cells of the alveoli, which is the squamous epithelium. Okay. And then here I have the arteries or
Hmm.
the veins, the capillaries basically. Okay. So here I have the cells of the capillaries. This is also the epithelial cells of the capillaries.
Hmm.
Okay. Now this epithelial cell will have a basement membrane
Yes,
and
ma'am.
this will have a basement membrane.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes or no? Yes. So all these things together, all these layers together will form the respiratory surface.
Hmm.
Why so? Why is it called as a respiratory surface or a respiratory membrane? Instead of a surface, you can also
Present
remember
below
it
the
as,
alveoli, basically.
yeah, these layers are which through which the gases get exchanged.
It's present under each alveoli or total or overall in the bottom part?
This happens under each alveoli.
Okay. So under each alveoli, one blood capillary is there. Capillary is lined by epithelium. That epithelium obviously will start from basement membrane. Like that, two, three capillaries between those things, there is respiratory surface.
Not two, three capillaries. This is just one capillary. Can you see this part?
That one
This
line.
part.
Oh,
This
okay.
is one capillary.
Oh, okay. Two lines
Capillaries
together, one
will-
capillary.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Those two lines together are one capillary.
One capillary. And the capillary will be lined by the epithelial cells, no?
Huh, that epithelial cell will start from basement membrane.
Yeah, so the basement membrane will be here.
Hmm.
Okay, and then there will be a basement membrane for the alveoli also.
Hmm. So between the capillaries and the alveoli, that space is respiratory surface.
Correct, yeah. So generally in some textbooks, you will see it as a single basement membrane. But
Hmm.
actually there are two basement membranes. One is of the
For
alveoli and
alveoli,
another
one
is of the
for capillary.
correct. Okay, and this entire structure together is called as your respiratory membrane.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the next thing that you need to know is that this is not there in your textbook. Okay, but it's for your information, but it's also important. So what happens is that here there is another layer above the squamous epithelial. Okay, it's called as a
Another
fluid.
layer above the squamous epithelium inside the alveoli.
Correct, inside the alveoli, it's called as fluid surfactant.
Hmm.
So basically, it will give a moisture texture to the surface.
Hmm.
Now the next question is, why is moisture important? Moisture is important so that the gases dissolve and pass through the alveoli easily.
Moisture is important because gases will dissolve and pass through the alveoli easily.
Yes. So there was a question long time back in one of the old AMPMT papers. which asks that what will happen if the moisture is not there or is reduced to the exchange of gases. Will it increase, reduce, or remain the same?
What will happen?
To the exchange of gases
Hmm.
if there is no moisture.
Hmm. Even I don't know. Obviously, I think it will decrease only.
It will decrease, correct?
Yeah.
Because I told you, no, for exchange of gases, we require moisture. So moisture is not there, means definitely exchange of gases will
Decrease.
decrease. Understood that logic there?
Hmm.
Yeah. So that is why I said, and that layer is called as a fluid surfactant layer. Again, that layer is not mentioned in your textbook though.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So this is at the alveoli. Okay. Now
Hmm.
there is nothing much, no respiratory membrane as such in the between the tissues and the blood. So there is nothing like special you need to know about the internal exchange of gases. Okay. Now, when we talk about exchange of gases, we need to talk about in two gases terms. One is oxygen, another is carbon dioxide.
Okay.
Okay. Let it be oxygen or let it be carbon dioxide, both are carried by your blood.
Yeah,
Yes or
oxygen
no?
and carbon dioxide are carried by blood.
In blood, who carries it if they ask? It's RBC.
Hmm.
Okay. Now, in RBC, you have the pigment called as, you have the pigment heme and you have the protein called as globin, hemoglobin.
In RBC, yeah, that I know.
They are present in RBC. Okay. So
Hmm.
before we go into this, how this binding and exchange happens, we
Hmm.
need to understand how the hemoglobin works. Okay. So basically, globin is the protein part. Okay. And there are four. So globin can be two alpha chains and two beta chains. What is it?
Globin two alpha chains and two beta chains.
Correct. So if you look like this, look, this is one alpha chain. This is another alpha chain. This is one beta chain, and this is another beta chain.
Yes, ma'am.
Interconnected though. Okay. So
So
this is
globin
how
has two alpha chains and two beta chains.
the hemoglobin will look. Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
I want you to switch on your video. I can't see you.
Ma'am, only can you see me now, ma'am?
What were
Ma'am,
you asking?
only globin will have two alpha chains and two beta chains, or you're talking about like hemoglobin?
No. Hemoglobin structure is what I'm discussing right now.
Hmm.
In that hemoglobin, the protein part is globin.
Okay.
Okay, and it is made up of alpha and beta chain.
Globin is made up of two alpha and two beta chains.
Correct.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, now this heme is a component that you can find in the center like this of each.
Alpha and beta chain.
Yes, and this heme is
It's
rich
a red
in
color pigment.
iron.
So it has a red color pigment
Yes, it has a red color pigment.
because iron is red in color.
Yeah. Now, what you need to remember is oxygen is a friend of Fe,
Hmm.
carbon dioxide is a friend of protein
Protein.
or amino groups that are present in proteins.
Hmm.
Proteins are made up of what?
Amino acids.
Correct. So they have the amine group, right?
Yeah.
So whenever carbon dioxide binds with the hemoglobin, it will bind to the
Amino group.
amino part.
Hmm.
Always remember, carbon dioxide will bind to what?
Amino part.
Amino part.
Hmm.
But your oxygen
Will bind to
will
the hemo part.
the
Heme.
heme
Fe.
Fe, yes.
Hmm.
Okay. So if it is binding, it will bind to the Fe part. Okay. So that is what you need to know. And it got stuck. Very nice. Missed it. Okay. Is this concept understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, once we finish this explanation, then I'll like go through the PPT. It will be even more clearer. Okay. Uh, so first we will talk about how the exchange of oxygen happens.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So oxygen is basically carried in three different forms.
Hmm.
In India, what they are?
Ma'am?
oxygen is
Hmm.
carried in three different forms.
Oh, nascent oxygen like that.
Not exactly nascent oxygen. Like, see, I told you one form is, I already mentioned you one form. What was it?
Fe.
Binding with the hemoglobin. So
Hemoglobin.
when with the Fe of the hemoglobin, it will form a structure called as oxyhemoglobin.
Hmm.
Okay. So this is one way the oxygen is transported in the form of what?
In the form of oxyhemoglobin.
Correct. Okay. Then blood has plasma.
Hmm.
Okay. Plasma is made up of water.
Hmm.
So some amount of oxygen will be transported in the dissolved form.
In water.
Yes, in the plasma, basically. You can't say water abruptly. In the plasma
Hmm.
of the blood. Okay. And few of them. Okay. So yeah, we have only actually two. That's in the case of carbon dioxide that we have three. I'm sorry. Yeah. So when we talk about the oxygen transportation, oxyhemoglobin and dissolved form. Okay. Now, out of this, if you see, only 3% is transported in the dissolved form. The remaining everything is transported in oxyhemoglobin form.
So, okay.
Okay. So, out of the two ways by which your this one oxygen is transported,
Hmm.
oxyhemoglobin form is how much percentage?
Three. Oh no, oxy is 97.
97, and this is about
Three. Then what is the third way, ma'am? Already three over.
carbon dioxide actually. Not three is for carbon dioxide. Oxygen has only two ways.
Okay.
Okay. Is this concept clear for oxygen?
Yes, ma'am.
Now we come to carbon dioxide. Okay. So when you talk about carbon dioxide is also binding with hemoglobin.
Hmm.
Yes. What do you think is the name for the structure which binds with hemoglobin? Carbon dioxide and hemoglobin.
Carbon dioxide with amine, no.
Basically at the end of the day, it's hemoglobin only, no.
Oh yeah, like that also you can tell.
So what is it?
Hmm.
What should be the
Carboxy,
name?
carboxy hemoglobin.
This is where you will everyone goes wrong. Okay. Carboxyhemoglobin is a term given when carbon monoxide binds with hemoglobin.
Oh, F.
Understood? Okay. So here it is called as carbaminohemoglobin.
Okay, simple carb.
Carbaminohemoglobin.
Globin.
Do not think carboxyhemoglobin. That is why I asked you. Okay. This is one form. The next form is as usual dissolved form. This also will get dissolved in the blood plasma and be transported. And
But,
another
but
bicarbonate ion.
for oxygen also three, no, but only two.
No, for oxygen only two methods. For carbon dioxide is what we have three methods.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. So bicarbonate ion means what will be the ion of CO2?
Ma'am, bicarbonate ion means what?
HCO3 minus.
Oh, the ion. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm.
your carbon dioxide can be transported in three forms. What are they?
Carbamino hemoglobin
Hemo-
dissolved form bicarbonate ion.
Yes. So dissolved form will be about 7%. Then bicarbonate would be 70 percentage.
That's
And let's see how
33.
much percentage is here.
23.
23. Okay. So this is how the oxygen and carbon dioxide are transported. In what form? If they ask, this is how they are transported.
Hmm.
Now the remaining thing that we need to know is the pressure difference. How is it different in alveoli? What causes the exchange and all? Okay. So till now, whatever we discussed, you understood?
Yes, ma'am.
You understood?
Hmm.
But
You can ask me any question.
okay, cool. Uh, Now I will go to the PPT. Just give me a second.
2 minutes nap time for me.
My screen is hanging. Why are you so sleepy early in the morning? Wake up.
I'm not, ma'am. I'm just waiting for you to change the thing.
You're waiting for
I'm waiting for you to like share the PPT. Until then, I was resting my eyes.
to lie down. No?
Yeah.
Day.
Today I woke up at 6 to 10
Uh-huh.
and then I was studying. Ma'am, you saw board exam in May 5th on in May 4th.
If board is May 4th, then when is
Neat
NEET?
is July third week.
Okay. You have time.
No, I guess because it is always 1 month after boards. In May, board start means June's first week it'll get over. 1 month from June first means July. Because usually in the May 5th NEET will be there. Board exam will get over on April 3rd. So April 3rd to May 5th, you'll have 1 month time. So this year also they'll do same thing, but this year I think they'll keep in July end. So August middle end result, September, November, October counseling, then Jan like this college will start, I think.
Nice. Oh, opening. But it's not opening. Why are you not opening? Open fast. Uh, don't hang. So this particular portion that we'll be discussing now, you might have to like read 2, 3 times. Otherwise, you might end up confusing yourself. You will
Yes.
understand why I'm saying this after I finish. It will look clear when you're listening, but once you read through, you might get little confused. So you should be a little careful with that.
Okay, ma'am.
I'm hoping to complete this chapter today. Let's see.
Ma'am, after this disorder is there, no, that's all.
Not much is there in the disorder part 2. Simple only.
M5 then hum 2 3.
Yeah, it's opening. My laptop decides to irritate me on this particular day. Why?
That's so sad, ma'am.
Hmm?
That's ma'am, how do I add scheduled meetings to my calendar?
You will when you get the meeting link itself, it will be there on top, no?
A meeting link I get on WhatsApp. Like, how do I add it to my calendar that this time I have class?
I always get the option along with the invite.
Like, the invite she sends on WhatsApp, no, ma'am.
Oh yeah, on WhatsApp, yeah, that's there, no? I don't know. Then you should ask her to send it on your mail ID.
Then I can just add it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it'll be damn cool. See, I have this thing where if you just add it to the schedule, like a repeated schedule, I don't need to even open Zoom. Like if I open laptop, if I just click on that directly, it'll take it in to that meeting.
Nice, very nice.
But then unfortunately, I can't do that. So now I have to uninstall the app. That's a good application it was. It's for like generally Zoom, all other calendars, everything.
Hmm.
It's very good.
Yeah, I know. My Gmail is linked with it. So whenever I get a Google Meet invite, it automatically gets connected and it reminds me.
Yeah, such good modern solutions for modern people.
Problem for this. Lol. Can you see my screen?
1 second. Oh yeah, wait, ma'am. It says you have started sharing screen.
I know I also have logged in from my phone so I can see. That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, okay.
Smart idea, no? What a smart idea.
Yes, ma'am.
This is what is called as modern solution.
Oh, I can just tell for next 1 hour saying, ma'am, I can't see the screen.
You can't do that.
But actually, half the time, it takes like 5 minutes for it to come.
Yeah,
So
I can see.
I'll be resting my eyes till then.
Uh-huh. That's called sleeping.
No, ma'am, there's a difference. You don't know it's an art. It's called resting your eyes. You just close your eyes, but you won't sleep.
I see.
Ma'am, if you have specs and you're wearing a mask, your eyes become red, because
Say?
of carbon dioxide getting accumulated in your specs and it becomes foggy, right? So when that carbon dioxide touches your eye, it becomes red.
I see. Yes.
Correct, no, ma'am?
Yeah, yeah. In the logic, I didn't know this logic existed.
Wait, it's correct, no?
Doesn't make sense to me though.
Like,
It's not like when you're wearing mask, you're completely covering. It's a porous substance, no. So you do have a airflow.
no, like when you're wearing mask and specs, sunglass, like specs. So when you breathe in, breathe out, your specs get foggy for sure. But then as that keeps happening, at one point your eye becomes red. No.
That is there, yeah.
That's what. Like today, my tutor was teaching. After some time, his eye became one eye became full red, and then he took off his mask and started teaching.
Oh, okay, okay,
Shopping
cool.
time.
Yeah. So that's just an analogy to explain how the
Bags are
entire
so
thing.
small.
Yeah. So when you shop, no, generally after you shop, like on Amazon and all, you get a delivery track,
Hmm.
like order confirmed, then
Hmm.
order dispatched, and all those
Right.
things. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a similar process that happens inside our body also.
Hmm.
Okay. So basically, what happens is that I don't want to complicate this stuff for you. Okay. So I'll anyway go through this thing if you want. So yeah, as I said, there will be a warehouse from where you can
Then you come to city, and then from there delivery to home.
then home, right? So in the case of your human body, while you're breathing, also a similar thing happens. Okay. So your central warehouse is the atmosphere.
Hmm.
Okay.
City hub is
And
city hub is
yeah,
lungs.
sorry.
The city hub is lungs.
Yeah, to be appropriate, you can say it is the alveoli.
Hmm.
Okay. So that's the whole thing about it. So I think me telling this analogy will make you more confused, or is it fine?
It's fine, ma'am.
Okay, it's fine. Yeah. Cool. Then so from atmosphere it goes to the alveoli, and then the delivery is taken by the delivery person. In our case, the delivery person is the blood.
To sell.
Uh,
Home is sell.
yeah, your cell is the home.
Hmm.
Okay. So now what we are going to discuss is the substance that we are going to discuss about is oxygen,
Hmm.
not carbon dioxide, but oxygen.
Hmm.
Okay. So here, what happens is that I, I already spoke to you about alveoli, so I don't think that is needed.
Hmm.
Okay. Shift. I'll show you the respiratory substrate thing that I was talking about. So it'll be a little clear for you. I think it got stuck in this slide. Yes.
Yes,
Good.
ma'am.
Come down, Cisse, come down. Yes, it's coming down. Okay. So this is how your alveoli looks like. Okay. Now don't think this entire thing is alveoli.
No.
The only this region. Okay. Are
That
you
is
sorry?
alveolar wall, like how you told.
Correct. Yeah. So basically, ooh, don't. Yeah. So this particular small portion is there, no, here.
That is
The
fluid.
small,
That is fluid
that
layer.
is alveoli.
Oh, okay. I thought you're talking about fluid layer.
No. Where you can see the blood cells flowing, that will be your capillary.
Okay.
Okay. Now the same structure, I can just show it, in a like one portion alone separately. It will look like this, and it's gonna crash. Don't crash. Don't crash. Please don't crash. I want to
That's
finish
so
this chapter.
sad.
Yeah,
Google
looks like.
Chrome not responding.
Yeah, I know. Okay, here you go. So on the top,
And it crashed.
Aditya Keda, you have the basement membrane, then the basement membrane of the capillary wall, and the capillary wall.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, all
Mm.
these four things together will form the respiratory membrane, also known as diffusion membrane.
Ma'am, three no, ma'am. Alveolar wall, basement membrane, and capillary wall.
Capillary wall. Okay, so alveolar wall, what cells? If they ask, you should say squamous epithelial cells. And capillary wall is the inside cells. No, so they are called as endothelial cells. Is that clear?
Ma'am.
Okay, and this basement membrane comprises of both basement membrane of the alveolar wall and the capillary wall.
Capillary wall.
Okay, together this is called as a respiratory membrane or the diffusion membrane.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, next. This is very slow. This is annoying me. Okay. So, what causes the movement of gases across this respiratory membrane? It's basically the partial pressure, as I told you. Okay, so what kind of an activity is happening when gases move from higher partial pressure to lower partial pressure? What is it called?
Diffusion.
Correct. So diffusion is what is happening across the respiratory membrane. Okay,
Hmm.
and this is because of the partial pressure difference. Fine. Okay. Now, so what is partial pressure?
Each gas pressure at
Mm,
constant temperature and this thing, constant temperature.
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So,
It is the
right.
pressure of each gas in a mixture of gases at a constant temperature.
Yeah. Okay. Uh, and also the same volume.
Mm.
Okay. Say, for example, if I have carbon dioxide and oxygen
Mm.
together in one vessel.
Mm.
Okay. Now, the same amount of oxygen and same amount of carbon dioxide, if I'm keeping them in the separate vessels, the amount of pressure they exert, that pressure is called as partial pressure.
Oh.
Okay. So, to put it in simple terms, it is an individual pressure in the group of gases. That's it.
Mm.
Is that clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, cool. Now, my entire Google Chrome has decided to play with me today. Nice. Okay, so when we talk about respiration, when I say external respiration, what was external respiration?
Between blood and between alveoli and blood,
Yeah, what is happening?
or diffusion from alveoli to blood.
Yes, exchange of gases between alveoli and blood. Okay,
Blood.
that's called as external respiration. Fine. Now, when we talk about external respiration, this is the pressure. So, inside the alveoli, if you see, the partial pressure of oxygen would be 104 mmHg. How much?
104 mmHg.
And the capillary that is coming into the near the alveoli, no,
Hmm.
that will have 40 mmHg of oxygen.
40 mmHg.
So definitely from what will happen, the oxygen will diffuse from alveoli into the capillary. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Once it diffuses, this deoxygenated blood will become what blood?
Oxygenated blood.
Correct. Oxygenated blood. And the pressure difference would be 95 mmHg now in the oxygenated blood.
Hmm.
Is this clear?
Then it will
So
go
what
to blood.
is initial partial pressure at alveoli for oxygen?
104.
And
40.
in the
40.
deoxygenated blood that came to alveoli?
40.
40. Then what happened after the exchange?
95, it increases.
Yes. So oxygenated blood became,
Deoxygenated blood became oxygenated.
good. Now, once this is done, after the external respiration, the oxygen is going to be transported. Now,
Hmm.
what are the different forms in which oxygen will be transported?
Through bloodstream, blood through plasma, and through
Hmm?
hemoglobin.
What is a true plasma called?
It is 97% and it's called oxyhemoglobin.
Hey, true
Sorry,
plasma
plasma.
talking about.
Oh,
I told you a term for it.
oh.
Dissolved form.
Undissolved form, 3%.
Oxyhemoglobin is when it binds with the
97%. Through
hemoglobin part.
hemoglobin. Hmm.
And in hemoglobin, to what does it bind?
Fe.
Correct. Okay. Now, once that is done, as I said earlier, the delivery person is going to take the this one to the tissues.
Hmm.
Okay. So now in the tissue, the respiration that happens is called as,
Internal.
yes. So exchange of gases between them is internal respiration.
Hmm.
So the blood comes to the tissue will be oxygenated. But
Hmm.
in the case of tissues, there will be more of carbon dioxide. Why?
Because tissues release carbon dioxide after respiration.
Correct. Very good. So
But after
because
the
of,
period cycle of respiration, the remaining carbon dioxide will be there.
yeah. So what will happen is the oxygenated blood will transfer or diffuse the oxygen into the tissues.
Hmm.
So the
And
partial,
CO2 will be diffused back to blood.
what?
CO2 will be diffused back to blood.
Yeah, PCO2 will be diffused back to the blood.
Blood.
And then the blood would definitely become deoxygenated.
Again, it will go to again it will go to alveoli. Same thing.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So this is how oxygen exchange takes place.
Hmm.
Now, carbon dioxide would be just the reverse of oxygen.
Hmm.
Okay. So in the case of carbon dioxide,
The
basically,
central warehouse is cell.
yes, correct. So from the tissues to blood to alveoli to the atmosphere back.
Yeah.
That is
Tissues
the
will
root
be
of
your central body like that. It is entire home is atmosphere. Ulta
yeah,
basically.
yeah. So when we say that, so PCO2 will diffuse back into the oxygenated blood, and the value there of partial pressure of carbon dioxide is how much in the blood?
Carbon dioxide.
Hmm.
40.
Correct, 40, and oxygen will remain 95.
Hmm.
Now, after the exchange, oxygen will change to 40.
Carbon dioxide will be 45.
Yeah. Okay. Then this will be taken back. Again, transport of gases. How will the carbon dioxide be transported? In what all forms?
Uh, Through bicarbonate ion HCO3 minus.
Okay.
In blood, carboamino this thing amino hemoglobin,
Okay.
and then one more carb amino hemoglobin is through blood, uh,
Okay.
and then through as bicarbonate ion HCO3 minus,
Hmm.
then one more
Dissolved form.
dissolved form.
Okay. Then, after that, yes, this is how the summary of the entire thing happens. Okay. So this is also called as double circulation, but
In
here
the blood we
we
learn
only talk
in
in terms
circulation we learn. Double circulation because it's going twice, no oxygenated, deoxygenated, but again it goes to the heart.
correct. Yeah. So, but when we are talking about double circulation, we'll only talk about the veins and arteries. But here we are talking about the pressure of the gases. That means we are talking about how breathing or exchange of
But
gases is
remember all these
happening.
pressures.
What?
I should remember all the pressures.
Yes, the pressures here that I mentioned, no, that you have to
First,
remember.
first 104.40, then 104.90.
Mm,
Then it goes there, then 90 will be 90 40, then 49 45. Then again it comes back and same.
yeah. So in your textbook, see, they have not given the partial pressure of oxygen and carbon dioxide in tissues because it varies from tissue to tissue or cells to cell.
Mm.
Okay, the pressures are only in the alveoli and in the arteries and the veins.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay, the artery that carries the blood to the body parts is called as systemic artery.
The artery.
That carries the
Mm.
blood to
Mm.
the body parts.
The artery that carries blood to the body is systemic artery.
Always systemic is associated with the body parts.
And pulmonary is that one that gets it back.
Yes. So pulmonary vein gets the no. Systemic vein only will take back the this one. Pulmonary vein will bring the blood from the lungs to the heart.
Pulmonary artery will take the blood from the heart to the lungs.
Correct. And systemic vein will bring.
Systemic artery will take the blood from heart to body. Systemic vein will get the blood from body to heart.
Correct. Okay. Next one. So finally, exchange of gases that is between carbon dioxide and your alveoli will take place. Even though I explained you this process like in stepwise, these all happen simultaneously. Remember that, okay?
Like this, like this.
Yes, like that, like that. Yes,
Every
correct.
millisecond I'm breathing. Every 1 second this process takes place.
Yeah. Okay. So this is how the entire thing happens. And finally, once the carbon dioxide pressure increases within your lung cavity, you push it out, and that is called as expiration.
Expiration.
Okay.
Percent
What is the
permeable membrane.
mm,
No pressure gradient.
mm.
What? Pressure gradient.
Good. I was just checking it. So this is just the summary of everything. Now, I think we are all not done yet. Now we have to see the transport of gases that I told you earlier. Okay. There you go. So this is the partial pressures. Answer for this.
104.40.
Good. Now transportation of gases. So as I said, we'll be talking about two gases. What are they? Oxygen and carbon dioxide.
Side.
Okay. What are the how much percentage is dissolved and how much is oxyhemoglobin?
97 oxy, 3% dissolved.
Very good. Now, how does that happen? Okay, so that's what we're going to see. When I say dissolved form, it will dissolve in the what part of the blood?
Plasma. Water
Plasma.
content.
Correct. Now we talk about oxyhemoglobin.
Hmm.
So, is this a story? You want to know the story?
Wanderlust. What a name.
Yeah. So basically, hemoglobin is something that travels along with the RBC.
Mhm.
Okay.
Ma'am,
So basically,
why is hemoglobin a she? Why can't it be a he?
I never said a she or a he.
It says it in your notes.
That's because I created the session. That's why. Okay. Now, as I said, these are the four hemoglobin chains. Can you see the image?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, as how many chains? Two beta chains and two alpha chains.
Hmm.
And at the center of each, there will be a heme.
Hmm.
And in the center of heme, there will be a Fe2 plus.
Hmm.
Okay. And your oxygen will bind to the Fe2
2 plus.
plus. Okay. So, oh my God. Yeah. So now when we talk about the oxygen, how they are going to bind. Okay. So when the blood is going to the alveoli, there is more of oxygen. Yes or no?
Hmm.
So the oxygen is being carried by the hemoglobin. Now, to what exactly it will bind? It will bind to the Fe group.
Fe group. Okay.
Okay. And it will be carried along. And now it's not necessary that all the Fe should bind with an oxygen. Sometimes there can be only one oxygen that is binding. Sometimes all the four can be binded.
Hmm.
That's called a saturation of hemoglobin. What is it called?
Saturation of hemoglobin.
Yeah. So if I say if all the Fe groups are binded with oxygen, then you will say that it's 100% saturation.
Hmm. When
Okay.
all the Fe groups are binded to the hemoglobin, it is 100% saturation.
Correct. Yes. Now this particular one that is carrying the oxygen will give the oxygen to whom?
Cell.
So that time, what is the partial pressure in the case of your arteries?
90-40.
Okay. Now, after that, oxyhemoglobin, HbO2 means oxyhemoglobin.
Hmm.
Okay. And this is a reversible reaction.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the next one is carbon dioxide. So when we talk about the transportation of carbon dioxide, as I said, what are the three ways?
Yeah, carbaminohemoglobin, dissolved form, and HCO3 minus bicarbonate.
Correct. So carbaminohemoglobin also, as I said, how that happens is in your RBCs,
Hmm.
it will bind to the amino group.
Hmm.
Okay. And after that, it will basically go to the alveoli and give away the carbon dioxide
Hmm.
and take oxygen from there and go back to the cells. So this is how the RBCs keep on roaming around. Okay.
Jobless
Yeah. So jobless, no?
because of them
Once
only
it's
we are surviving.
quitting it, we will quit this earth itself.
Yeah,
No, okay.
true.
Yeah. Okay. Now, yeah. So this is the formula for carbaminohemoglobin, HbCO2.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now, what you need to understand is
Okay.
out of the three gases, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and carbon monoxide.
Monoxide.
Okay. Highest affinity is always for carbon monoxide.
Right.
Second highest affinity is for carbon dioxide.
Right.
And the last least favorite is oxygen.
Oxygen.
Remember this order.
Our body's least favorite is oxygen. Oh.
Yeah. Not
Papa.
our body. I'm talking about the RBCs, binding affinity.
Oh, who? Oh, okay, like that. So carbon
Mm,
monoxide binds the easiest. That's why they tell when you take little bit of carbon dioxide, also brain dead.
correct. You know the meme, there will be one guy walking with a girl and going, but there'll be another pretty girl going, he'll turn back and see at that girl. Have you
Ah,
seen
I
that
know.
meme?
Yeah, that is from childhood. It's been there.
Exactly. There's the same meme for
Yeah, carbon
carbon
monoxide will be
dioxide
the
and
girl
carbon.
going on the opposite side. That guy who looks
Uh,
back at the RBC, and then who is walking with his oxygen.
who's walking with this also can be carbon dioxide.
Yeah, anything, but then he looks back at carbon monoxide.
Yeah. Because that is why when they say no, yeah, have you heard of all these things like people die by sleeping in the car?
Yeah, that's because of carbon monoxide.
Correct. No proper ventilation, so our body tends to bind with carbon monoxide faster.
Yeah, that's why we should not always put AC and sleep. They tell no.
Yeah, correct. Okay,
No,
so
but what is
remember
the
that.
difference between putting AC and sleeping in a room and putting
Huh?
AC and sleeping in car?
See, in room at least there be some sort of ventilation. Say, for example,
No,
you will
what
be
if everything
opening
is
the
shut?
door.
Like
Huh?
if I put AC, I'll shut everything. No.
Okay. Where your car size and your room size is the same?
No.
If there's a little more space, okay. But when you talk about your car, it's a very congested, small place. So the
But
accumulation is faster
If I
there.
if I if I sleep in my room for 2 days straight with AC and door closed, I'll die.
One day, I think, is sufficient.
One
One,
day.
1.5 days. Yeah. Without any ventilation, anything, you can definitely die.
But even if I open my door for 1 millisecond, also oxygen will come in.
The gases will diffuse. That's it.
Hmm. But under the door there is gap. No, in that gap only it will keep diffusing.
Yeah, through that gap will go. No, that is the reason why we are all surviving. No.
Hmm.
But have you heard of this? They say no, like leave about the dying part. But people sometimes can't sleep in AC because their body will pain.
Oh.
Okay, in my house, everybody has this problem. We all have this like our morning when we wake up, no, the
Hmm.
entire fingers will be tight. It will be like very tiring and all those things. Okay,
Hmm.
so when we consulted a doctor, the doctor said us that it's not good to sleep under the AC for a long time.
Hmm.
Now the same concept. Oxygen is not enough for my body. So ultimately, what respiration will happen if there is no enough oxygen?
Anaerobic.
Then what will happen? What will get accumulated?
Carbon monoxide.
Day. Carbon monoxide, ada.
Oh, sorry,
And
lactic.
oxygen is not there in muscle
Yeah,
cells. What will get
yeah, or
accumulated?
lactic acid.
Lactic acid. That will result in cramps, no?
Hmm.
That is what happens. So that's why they say don't sleep in AC for a long time.
Oh, that's why cramps.
Yeah.
Okay, ma'am.
You're done with your whatever you're doing there.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now coming to the next part. Ding ding ding. Dissociation curve. So we already discussed this part. Dissolved form. Dissolved form will be in what?
7% plasma.
In the blood plasma.
Hmm.
Then we have bicarbonate ions.
7%.
Now here is what you need to understand something. Okay, how this bicarbonate ion is formed and where it happens. Okay, so your blood has what all? What are the components of your
Plasma.
blood?
Plasma.
Okay,
Water.
and and plasma has water. But apart
Hemoglobin.
from plasma, what is there?
RBC, WBC, hemoglobin.
Correct. RBC, WBC, hemoglobin, and all those things are there.
Hmm.
Fine. Now, this when we are talking about this bicarbonate ion, we are just going to focus on two things. One is a plasma, another is RBC.
Hmm.
Okay. Now the thing is that there is a enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase. What is enzyme?
Carbonic anhydrase.
It is present inside the RBC. Where is it present?
Inside the RBC.
Why is this carbonic anhydrase required? Okay. It is required for the formation of carbaminohemoglobin.
Hmm.
Sorry, I mean, it is important for the carbonic acid. That is H2CO3, not carbamino, H2CO3.
Oh, H2O plus CO2, H2CO3.
Yes.
H2CO3
Reaction.
dissociate to form H plus and HCO3 minus.
Yeah. So wait, let me just complete what I'm trying to say. Okay, then you can understand. So this carbonic anhydrase is going to make this reaction faster.
Hmm.
It's reaction formation of your H2CO3.
Hmm.
Okay. So what will happen is that this carbon dioxide, okay, will move from the blood plasma into the RBC.
Hmm.
And it will form H plus and HCO3 minus. Inside where will it form?
RBC.
RBC. Now this HCO3 minus cannot be transported via RBC. It has to be transported via your blood plasma. So it will move into the blood plasma.
Oh, HCO3 cannot be transported via RBC, so it'll move into the blood plasma.
Correct. Now when it is moving in, there will be a concentration difference between the ions in the blood plasma and the red RBC. Yes or no?
Ma'am, you are frozen.
I am frozen. You are frozen for me. There. Tambi. Hello.
Ma'am, you're frozen.
Now am I frozen?
No, now you're clear.
Okay. So coming back to this reaction, when your H2CO3 is a highly unstable component, okay? So it will dissociate to form what and what?
H plus and CO3 minus. HCO3 minus.
HCO3 minus, okay? Now, HCO3 minus is moving out of the RBC. Yes or no?
Hmm.
So there are more of H plus ion than the bicarbonate ion. So won't this result in a ionic imbalance?
Hmm.
So what will happen is chloride ions from the blood plasma will move into RBC. Which ions?
Chloride.
Cl minus will move from where to where?
Blood to RBC.
Blood plasma to RBC.
Plasma to RBC, sorry.
Yeah. Why is it doing so?
Because because of diffuse, because the ion is unstable.
The ion is not unstable.
Hmm.
There is a concentration difference. There's an ionic imbalance.
Balance.
Yeah. Okay. Because of whom this ionic imbalance is created?
Because of H plus and CO3 minus. HCO3
By
minus.
what is HCO3 minus doing?
It is creating an ionic imbalance
How?
by not being stable.
You didn't pay attention there, no?
I did.
Then tell me the correct answer. How? How HCO3 minus is causing that?
Wait. Something you told in between.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. because you were doing something else.
No, ma'am, I was looking only.
Mm-hmm. I can
Correctly
see
told.
you.
Everything else I correctly told, except that one line.
But because that's where you lost your attention. Tell
That
me.
one I only forgot.
Okay. So the HCO3 minus will move from RBC to blood plasma.
Huh.
So what
But
will
then,
happen is there will be a concentration difference in the ions.
okay.
Okay. There is more positive ions but less negative ions. Definitely there will be an imbalance or not.
So basically, HCO3 moves from blood plasma to RBC.
No, no, no.
From
From
RBC to
RBC to
blood plasma. So
yeah,
there is an ionic difference. Since there is more
yeah,
negative charge and positive charge, there is an ionic imbalance.
correct. Between the plasma and the RBCs.
RBC.
Why is the first of all, why is HCO3 minus formed in RBC and not in blood plasma?
Because what?
Why is HCO3 minus formed in the blood RBC than in the blood plasma? What's the whole point of it?
To transport it.
I told you this reason in the beginning itself.
I'm gonna give one hint, I'll tell. One hint. It's
Okay,
like
now listen to me carefully. I'll explain this entire thing once again. After this, I'm not going to explain. And if you don't answer, I'll get really pissed off. I'll give you imposition only. Clear?
yes, ma'am.
Now listen. So your blood has plasma, RBCs, WBCs, and everything, correct?
Hmm.
Now, the blood plasma and RBC is only what we are going to talk about.
Hmm.
RBC has an enzyme called as
Oh,
carbonic
yeah,
anhydrase.
carbohydrate.
Yes, that enzyme is required for the formation of your
Carbonic
carbonic acid.
acid. Hmm.
Clear is clear?
Hmm.
So what will happen is carbon dioxide from blood plasma will diffuse into RBC.
Hmm.
And this reaction will happen inside the RBC.
RBC. With the help
But
of carbonic acid.
H2CO, yes, but H2CO3 is highly unstable, so it will dissociate to form hydrogen ions and bicarbonate ions.
That bicarbonate comes from blood to plasma, and there is a change in concentration since there are more negative charge and positive charge. There's ionic imbalance. And after that?
After that, the chlorine will from the blood plasma will move into the RBC.
Hmm.
Okay, why is it so? Just to balance the ionic
Ionic.
concentration.
Hmm.
Okay, because chloride ions are also negative ions, no?
Hmm.
So it will balance. Okay. Now, this particular thing that is happening is called as a chloride shift or Hamburger's phenomena.
Hmm.
What is it called?
Chloride shift or hamburger's phenomena.
This
Hamburger.
is Hamburger's phenomena. This is not there in your textbook. That's why I'm again and again repeating it.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this clear?
Crystal
Okay.
clear.
Yeah, I hope so. Question time.
My favorite.
Oh, we came to the answer directly, I suppose. Huh?
Approximately 70 bicarbonate.
Mm. Already saw the answer
No,
anyway.
ma'am.
Okay, this is what I was talking about. Oxygen hemoglobin dissociation curve.
Hmm.
Okay. So when I already told you what is hemoglobin saturation. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
What is hemoglobin saturation?
100%.
That is when all the O2s are binded.
Binded.
If not,
Yeah.
the saturation should be less, no?
Yeah, generally it is less, but if all O2s are binded, it's 100%.
100%. So after a point of time, there will be no more space in the hemoglobin for the binding of oxygen. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So what will happen initially when the oxygen is binding to the hemoglobin saturation will increase.
Hmm.
Yes.
Later it
So
will be constant.
slowly, the hemoglobin saturation will increase.
Hmm.
After one point of time, when there is no more space, then the saturation curve will become flat.
Yeah, constant.
That is why it is a sigmoid curve.
Hmm.
Is this clear?
Yes, ma'am.
So when there is more oxygen in the blood, what will the oxygen try to do? It will try to bind with the Hemoglobin.
Hemoglobin.
Yes. Yeah. So if more amount of oxygen is binding to the hemoglobin, okay, then hemoglobin saturation will increase.
Hmm.
But at one point of time, there will be no more hemoglobins to bind to. All will be occupied. Then that will become a flat curve. That is why you have a S-shaped curve like this here.
Hmm.
Can you see this one?
Yes, ma'am.
So this is a
Right.
curve between what and what? Hemoglobin
Hemoglobin
saturation and
saturation, volume, and pressure of oxygen in blood.
correct, correct. And it is always normally in what shape?
Sigmoid, S-shaped.
S shape. But then this can also change.
Hmm.
Now what will happen is when there is an increase in the carbon dioxide concentration in the blood.
Hmm.
Okay. So what happens is that when the carbon dioxide concentration is more, it will form H plus ions and HCO3 minus ions.
Hmm.
Okay, since there are more of H plus ions in the blood, what will happen to the pH of the blood?
More H plus means pH will decrease.
pH will decrease. Okay, but we can't afford the pH of the blood to decrease. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So therefore, what will happen is once this thing happens, oxygen will dissociate.
Hmm.
Okay, so when oxygen dissociates, the pH will come back to its normal position.
Normal pH.
Okay, so what happens is when the carbon dioxide concentration is more
Hmm.
in your blood, what will happen?
Ma'am, what?
When the carbon dioxide concentration is more in the blood, what will happen?
Diffusion. Oxygen.
Hey,
Huh.
just now I explained to you, no?
Oh yeah, this sigmoid curve.
No. Okay, listen. I'll tell you once again.
Oh,
Listen to this
oh
carefully.
yeah, this acidity increases. More H plus ions are formed, so more blood acidity increases. So
How is more H plus ion formed?
because more CO2 will combine with H2O to form HC, the carbonic acid. So more dissociation takes place. So more H plus ion, so more acidic, so less pH. So oxygen dissociation takes place.
Oxygen dissociation takes
Not
place. Very good.
association. That's what I told wrong.
Huh. So now tell me one thing. If oxygen dissociation takes place in this curve,
Hmm.
okay, do you think this curve will remain the same?
No.
What will happen to the curve?
Wait, what? Wait. It'll change shape.
It will change shape. But how exactly do you think it will change shape? Think a
Mm.
bit.
So oxygen dissociation reduces means I don't
Oxygen
think it will go till the
dissociation will happen.
top and become flat. It will become flat like somewhere bottom only.
No, no. That is also there, and the entire curve will shift to a bit to the right
It
side.
will start from 50 and then it'll end at like 10% volume.
So what will happen is the shift will happen towards the right side.
Right side. Okay.
Okay. So remember this: dissociation happens, shift will happen towards what side?
Right.
So when carbon dioxide concentration is low in the blood, then what will happen?
Towards left.
Towards left. That is because
Because more oxygen associated.
oxygen will associate. Is that
Hmm.
clear?
Hmm.
So this is the diagram for shift to left.
Hmm.
Okay, and this is the diagram for shift to right. That right will come. Wait. Did you understand this whole concept of shifting of left to right?
Ma'am. Association of oxygen means shifting to left. The normal
Mm,
sigma graph.
mm.
Dissociation I haven't
What
seen.
causes the association of oxygen?
Less amount of CO2.
Less amount of
CO2.
correct, and more amount of CO2 would be
Dissociation of oxygen.
correct. Dissociation of oxygen. That time the curve will shift to.
Right.
Is this concept clear?
Yes, ma'am.
The last one that you need to note, there are two effects, okay? Haldane and Bohr's effect. With that, the major chunk of this chapter is over.
Oh.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm trying to find the curve that has left, right. This entire thing got hung. Okay. What is chloride shift?
When chlorine is coming because of the instability of HCO3 minus, it is called hamburger effect. From the blood, chlorine Cl minus will come towards HCO3
Mm,
due to
towards
the
HCO3,
instability.
towards what?
Ma'am, what?
Towards what will it come?
Towards H plasma.
Towards plasma. Who will come towards plasma?
Cl minus will come towards blood. Wherever HCO3 is there, towards HCO3. HCO
Where is HCO3 present?
in blood.
See, there are two movements happening.
Hmm.
Okay. One is everything is happening in blood only.
So Cl minus will come to blood.
Blood means what? Entire reaction is happening inside the blood, but blood
Cl
has
minus
different
will come to
components.
hemoglobin.
Ah,
Ah,
hemoglobin or RBC?
RBC.
RBC, not hemoglobin. Okay. Oh my God.
I
So
just realized.
HCO3 minus is present inside the hemoglobin.
Yeah, inside
Sorry,
hemoglobin,
RBC.
Cl minus
Yo,
will
even
come to RBC. For a second, I thought I told everything in blood, and I just realized plasma, everything is present in blood.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. Everything is present already in blood. Okay. So plasma, from plasma to your this one RBC, what will move?
Plasma to
RBC.
that Cl minus
Very good. From RBC to plasma,
CO2.
CO2.
That HCO3 is a thing.
HCO3 minus.
Hmm.
Okay, this is a curve for shifting to right. Okay,
Where, ma'am?
you can see this
Ma'am,
one.
it's
See
here.
here, this yellow line.
Oh, yellow line. Okay.
Okay. That is the shifting to right. Okay.
Hmm.
Now I'll come back to the last effects. With that, this chapter is done. Only respiratory disorders are left out, which is easy peasy. And it's taking all the time in the world.
Ma'am, I love your laptop.
I know, right? Yeah, I love it so much that I feel like killing it. Like, like, just come to this slide alone, please. Just come here. And I won't ask for anything more. I'm getting annoyed now. Okay. Okay. So when your oxygen binds with hemoglobin, no?
Hmm.
So when oxygen binds with hemoglobin, there is more of carbon dioxide that is being released.
Hmm.
That effect is called Haldane effect.
When what, ma'am?
When your oxygen binds with carbon dioxide,
Hmm.
okay, sorry, binds with the hemoglobin.
Oxygen binds with hemoglobin. Yeah.
Okay, then what will happen is carbon dioxide is forced to get out.
Hmm.
That effect is called Haldane effect.
Okay.
Okay, so binding of oxygen with hemoglobin causing the carbon dioxide to move away is called as Haldane effect.
Hmm.
Okay, where does this Haldane effect come in place? It will come in place in the alveoli.
Hmm.
Otherwise, I don't think exchange of gases can take place in alveoli. Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
So what causes the carbon dioxide to dissociate from the hemoglobin? It's a
Binding of oxygen to hemoglobin.
correct. And that effect is called
Haldane effect.
Haldane effect. Okay. The other effect is Bohr's effect, which is like opposite to it.
Increase in binding of CO2 to hemoglobin.
Yes. So CO2 concentration increases, oxygen will be
Oh, yeah,
released.
CO2 can't bind to hemoglobin. Yeah. CO2 concentration increases, oxygen is released.
That is which effect?
Bohr's effect.
So release of oxygen is Bohr's effect. Release of
CO2
carbon dioxide is
Haldane effect.
definitely if they have to be released, the other one should be increasing. So if carbon dioxide has to be released, then oxygen concentration should be
Increased.
Correct. Understood? So Bohr and Haldane are opposite to each other.
Yes, ma'am.
This is not there in the textbook, but this was asked. That's the reason why I have included it here. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today what all we learned, I want you to summarize.
Today we learned how breathing, that whole diffusion of gases takes place, internal, external respiration, CO2 transport, oxygen transport. Then we learned both Haldane effect and say oxygen dissociation and oxygen association.
Okay, cool. So I hope you understood, right? I want you to read through your textbook today.
Yes, ma'am. Next class we can do remaining disorder and questions.
Yes, correct. So with that, we'll be
We'll
done
be done
5
with that
chapters.
5 chapters.
Only 5 chapters. Oh shit. I don't know
Ma'am,
when
in
I'm going
Jan
to
we should
complete.
finish 3.
Oh,
In Jan we should finish off 3 chapters.
hopefully, let's see.
In Feb we can do 4. In March also 4. 4, 8, 11, 11 plus 5. Still by April end I think we will be done.
Hopefully, let's see.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. And I'll see you in the next class Thursday, right?
Thursday 9:30.
Yeah. Okay then. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.